Hello, YouTube. We are here with our first of maybe a series of Stella Sora videos. This one is going to be, and I get it, I'm not the highest level in this game, but I have been playing this game since its launch, and I do believe that this game is one of the more fun games that have released this year for sure. I know a lot of people have been filtered by the gacha, and a lot of people on social media were very against it, but I think at the core of it, Stella Sora is a very, very enjoyable game to play, especially if you like roguelike RNG element, and the control of the units are pretty satisfying, and it's very, very easy to play on mobile as well. Okay, unless you're doing dodge cancel Shia, which is, I've tried it on the phone. I don't know if I got fat fingers, but it's really hard to do. But this is gonna be, I guess, our first video, and it's gonna be going over some of the mistakes that I, as a new player, made, and after fact learned I shouldn't have made those. And if you guys don't know, my girlfriend Lily also loves Stella Sora. I fed her a lot of bad information initially because I did not know any better. This is all for you to avoid making those same mistakes. Now, the first one, knowing which abilities to level. So I'm sure a lot of people here have, in the beginning, you don't know, right? Because you need a main character, right? Let's look at my Shia, my light team with Shia, Jinglin, and Tilia. With these three characters, I, in the beginning, leveled them all simultaneously and just kept leveling them and leveling them and leveling them. While I was doing that, I guess the best way to show it is with my water team. So my Chitose, Iris, and I think Teresa was my initial water team. And so with these characters, you can see, for some reason, Teresa and Iris's other abilities are leveled. And this is something that I learned much later that, if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Chitose, your main character, mainly I think most people want to play her auto attack build. You want to just focus on her auto attack. If you understand how Stella Sora team building works, right? If you are going to, start a run here, right? Let's say we have our Chitose team here, and then we would have two supports. And the two supports would be Teresa and Iris. In my infinite wisdom in the beginning of the game, I thought, I should just level all of their abilities, right? That being basic attack, skill, support skill, and ultimate. Well, you shouldn't do that. Definitely on your main character, depending on what they're mainly focused on, you would either be, leveling their basic attack focus, maybe ultimate, stuff like that. But you can pretty much level their basic attack, main skill, and ultimate. You do not want to be leveling their support skill, unless you intend to use them as a support later, right? But in this case, Chitose is not being run as a support, so she does not need those support skill levels, and I kind of wasted a couple there. And what about our support? So Teresa and Iris are both supporting Chitose. I probably should not have leveled her basic attack and her main skill. Why? Because your supports will never be using their basic attack and main skill. They are using their support skill and their ultimate. Pretty much, that's basically all they're using. Same thing with my Iris here. I did the same thing. I accidentally leveled these up. This is something that burns a lot of resources, especially early on. And you don't really want to waste too many resources, especially, if you're free to play. You don't have as much resources to throw around. Basically, when you build your team, you have a main character that you're going to be controlling, whether it's Shia for light, Chitose for water, Fuyuka for fire. There's I call her Jerry for Terra. I did play main DPS Mystique for a while. I don't know what I was thinking about, but essentially you want to mainly be leveling the main skill, the basic attack, as well as the ultimate for your main character. Meanwhile, you should not be leveling their support skill at all. And vice versa, for the supports, you should be leveling their support skill and their ultimate, but not their basic attack and main skill. That was my first big mistake. Now, my second big mistake, I definitely I was leveling my main as well as my supports simultaneously. So if I took Chitose to 50, or 30, I took Iris and Teresa to 30. And when I was leveling my Shia team, right, I was leveling all of them to 50. So you can see my Jinlin's almost 60 here. And you really don't need to do that, right? Most of the boosts that you get from your supports are pretty much going to be from their potentials and all the damage boosts that they do give. And leveling them up much higher is not really going to give you a huge stat boost. I would say most of these supports, depending on the point at which you are in the game, like if you have 80, 90 on your main, right, you should really keep them just like 40, 50. Especially early on, like my Iris and Teresa were just level 30 and my Shitosu was leveled up a bit higher as well. So definitely don't waste too many EXP resources leveling up your supports, because you know, you want your main to be as high level as possible. Definitely don't want to waste those resources. And then the next big mistake that I made was spreading my resources a little too thin in the beginning. I wasn't exactly free to play, but I wasn't exactly wailing super hard in the game either in the beginning, right? Because I just wanted to dabble in the game and see how I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it quite a bit, so I ended up spending a bit more, but in the beginning, as you can see, I had leveled up a lot of things all over the place. And it got to a point where I kind of hit a wall in terms of like what I could level, because I just spread it everywhere. I leveled Dark team, I leveled the Water team, I leveled my Terra team, I leveled everything. It kind of got to a point where I didn't really have any specific team that was really excelling. And I think the best way to progress in Stella Sora in the beginning is to just really focus on one team, get them to as high as you can in terms of progression, and then start branching out to the next element, Because at the end of the day, right, the end game of Stella Sora is very much about having the good elemental distribution. You want good elemental coverage. You want to have like pretty good teams for every possible element. I know I'm looking like a super casual here, but it's just general tips regardless of how, you know, progressed or unprogressed my account is. Funny thing, Lily's account, my girlfriend, is like double my account level, so you know, sometimes I just log into her account and check things out that way. But definitely don't overspread your resources. It's something, if you played other gacha games, you'll just pretty much figure out, because you find out, especially if you're free to play, if you spread too many resources too early, you're just gonna be at a point where you can't beat certain content and you're just stuck. Whereas if you did hyper focus on one element and you really just juice that element, then you were probably able to progress further and unlock higher difficulties. Now, the next big mistake that I made was with the discs, right? Because at a certain point, you understand, which I've eventually understood, that if you are going in, let's say here, right? Okay, this don't autofill this, but if I were going in here, right, with my light team, and I want to do this, right? I have my light discs. At a certain point, you have to understand on your support discs, right, that you don't need to really level them. The support discs, realistically, you're just looking for the notes. And these notes are very important because you need them to fill out the buffs that you need. And you will notice here on the side, and this is something I didn't quite understand. I was just doing auto deploy for the most part. Later on, when you want to really start progressing, you want to take a look at here and see, some of these are grayed out entirely, right? You're not even getting any benefits from them. You probably don't want to run them. But some of these, okay, like this. Oh, you got 2 notes, right? You could pop that in. You got here 2 notes here. You could pop that in. You got 2 notes here. And you might be like, oh, but these aren't the same element. Honestly, I think all that really matters is going for those notes more than anything. And that's why using off element for the support disc really isn't that big of a deal, because all you really care about is the note boost. Now, I might be wrong, and you could correct me in the comments, but I think that was a big mistake I made early on. I also was leveling my support discs. I'm sure they give some type of a boost, but like, I definitely don't think it's that necessary, right? Because the main discs are where you're getting the big skills. The skills and the effects are very, very strong, and you get like 4 notes, right? Look at these. But the support discs, you definitely do not need to invest that hard. They pretty much are just like really good for stacking the music notes. Probably the last big thing is the events in this game. Do not miss out on the events. As you can see, I got really busy the last couple of days or week, and I just like did not get to finish this event, and I can't buy all of these. But for the most part, I got most of the important things. All right, let me buy that last pole there. This is the Fist of Courage, which came specifically with this event, which is the SSR 5-star disc for Fuyuka. And you specifically want to get all the dupes in the shop. I know some people that missed it, and it's like, oh my god, you are missing a massive boost. You definitely don't want to miss these. And then on top of that, you 100% want to make sure that you're doing all the Cataclysm, Survivor, and getting these discs as well, because these discs are very strong as well, especially if you're a free-to-play and you don't have access to that many 5-star discs. These are going to really help you along, right? And well guys, that's gonna probably be it for the first video here. As you can tell, right, I'm not the biggest expert in this game, but as I've been playing it and with the help of my community, as well as, you know, surprisingly I do have a pretty good base of viewers who actually play this play Stella Sora. They were correcting a lot of misconceptions that I had with the game, and I thought it was just a great idea to share some of these mistakes I made with you guys, just so that you don't waste as many resources as I did in the beginning as well. Oh, honestly, probably the best tip. I've done this twice. Honestly, once you get this claim and you lost, let's say you lost a 50, bro, just I've thrown away like 2 guarantees because I just got an itch and decided to roll. It's like, you know, like, what's the chances I get another? I instantly got a, if you could see here, my Shia. For absolutely no reason, I have a copy of her because I lost 50-50 on her, right? And I got all the way to the claim pity, so I had the guarantee saved, got the itch and decided to roll randomly, and then I got another Shia on the 110 pull. And then what do you think happened when Fuyuka came out? I went all the way to pity for Fuyuka and lost 50-50 as well. So if I didn't roll that extra time on Shia because I was bored, I would have guaranteed Fuyuka instantly. So that's probably the best hint I could give. I'm capped on energy. I need to burn that. But definitely, if you guys have any recommendations or any other tips that I could give, definitely leave them in the comments. And thank you again, everybody, for watching and tuning into this video. Thank you guys. Bye bye.